Hello and welcome to the Aaron Roussos podcast. This is episode number 1 of 10 on a very special topic, which is cancer. Okay. Now, we're going to look at cancer from a different perspective, from a different eyes. I am no, I'm no medical doctor or expert. That would be an insult. I knew what a medical doctor knew 20 years ago. They are a little bit limited in what they learn, I guess. Well, whatever's part of the curriculum they learn, isn't it? Come with something outside of that and they wouldn't have a clue. You don't know what you don't know. Anyway, it's not important to list my qualifications. If you just think of it as evidence-based facts, I'm a real stickler for the truth, that real core truth. And if I can find a further truth, I'll find it. But what happened was, basically, back in 2019, I'd healed myself the year before, of an anxiety disorder. With this 14-day protocol, and because the world didn't want to know, and I was really upset. I was crying for about a month because I knew what it was like to have this debilitating, no quality of life disease. And I knew that I could help people now, and no one wanted to know. The world just wasn't ready. It's very hard if, the whole 2,000 years of our history, you haven't been able to cure anxiety disorders, and then all of a sudden someone does it. Then obviously all the powers that be are going to think I'm still crazy, or, I'm not a medical doctor. So therefore they're not even willing to have a conversation. Not even a first conversation, you know what I mean? Just to sit down and, what do you got, mate? Let's see if you've got anything here. Now, I know where this comes from. Like my healing came from a very, very special place, okay? Tapped into source itself. Now, no one can attain to that. So we know of its, we know how good it is, but also evidence-based, yeah? If it works every time, you cannot deny that. If I put, like I'm putting my Anxiety Uninstalling Program out there. Now, if 100 people go and do it to the T, right, exactly as it says in the program, and they heal themselves, then what? Then what? If 100 people do the course, the protocol, and 100 people heal themselves, naturally, risk-free, complimentary, no complications, no interactions with any of your present treatments at all. You don't have to stop doing anything. Then we've got something serious on our hands, boys and girls, because not only would it be fantastic for the 300, 400 million anxiety disorder sufferers and people that are on medications and suffering low quality of life, it's going to mean the world to them, but it's going to mean something a little bit bigger than that, because in our, say, 2,000 year short history of what we're working with now in our education system, no doctor even, or no person has ever in our history of mankind healed anything. That's right. Nothing has ever been healed. Okay, so no one's ever gone and found out the cause of a disease, got it all, and then counteracted that and by creating some form of healing program that would offset that, which would then make it heal. Okay, at the moment we have, medicines clamp down on the symptoms so that basically we can get through a different time phase, because everything heals with time so far. That's what what we're working with at the moment. So how fascinating that I could be the first person in history ever to heal something, cure something. look, that prospect in itself is amazing. Obviously, I didn't do it. Where the information came from, the plan and everything was quite divine. So at the moment, I thought I better get on. I better do this 10-part series. 10 on 10. 10. Let's just go 10s all round. 10 minutes, 10 episodes. And we're just going to debunk cancer, basically. I don't want any money for it. That's not what I'm into. And look, sometimes they say, oh, you're so conditioned to give me automatic responses to the point that I actually know what you're going to say. So, you're going to be like, oh. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to get on with it. So we're going to do 10 sessions on cancer. So if you had cancer, it's up to you. I'm not going to ram this down your throat just because I know something that no one else does. I'm still not going to push my will onto others. Yeah, I could be the wealthiest person in the world, but what good's that going to do? People are sick. That's the first problem. That's the thing on my website. People come and I go, look, let's just. How much? Look, let's just get better first. If you can afford to give me some money, great. There's a donation thing on my website. It's because my energy system, or the way that I trade, is I just get people, do whatever we have to do first that's most pressing. And then if they want to donate so that I can keep investing and researching, I invest everything back in. So cancer, I sort of got around to telling you the reason why we got to cancer is because when I healed myself, no one wanted to know. So I thought to myself, well, I've got this all amazing healing modality now. And my healing modality is not an easy one. You know what I mean? It's not easy to connect, just sort of get in the zone, start asking the questions, getting the downloads, synchronicity signs, putting the puzzle together, working it all out. It's an all-in sort of encompassing. It's draining. It's not something that you could even comprehend, really. So what happened was I went, all right, I'll use my healing modality to fix this biggest problem in the world, cancer at the moment. And I thought, you know what? Surely then everyone's got to listen to me. So I'm going to be honest with you. It took me 2 weeks, okay, to dial in, get the light codes and work out what was going on with cancer. The first thing that we do in this healing modality that I've created is we have to know the causes, right? If you don't know what the cause of what you're trying to heal is, you got no chance. You got no chance. So obviously, being a numerologist and already having a bit of experience in research and being able to go a little bit further, we are holistic beings, body, mind, and soul. Being able to use that spiritual side of ourselves and know the system, know what's part of it, how it all works, and be an authority on the earth as far as a human being goes on that topic has got me answers that even medical research can't find. So cancer took me 2 weeks, okay? Once I decided to actually dedicate my time 24/7 to finding out, to running it through my healing modality, I got the whole shooting match, cancer, the causes, how to fix it. There was a little bit of an individual part that I needed to tack onto it for each individual person, different types of cancer. But basically, those 2 weeks are up. I then had to test it. The universe magnetically, in my circle at the time, brought some people to me that had cancer. They had some of the worst cases of cancer getting around. One of the guys, Frank, which anyone can talk to, I could get Frank on the podcast to talk to you. Frank had 3 days to live. 3 days. 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 3 da meaning that his family, he'd been in a coma for 5 months, and his family are like, well, the doctor said there's not much really that we can do, and they decided to turn the life support machine off. I just happened to be working with Frank's nephew's friend, at a pizza place, and so we intervened. We ran it through the numerology 22 healing. That's the name of my healing modality. And so Frank was probably the worst case. We had children with tumours on their brain stem, so even Charlie Teo wouldn't operate. Not that he operates in Australia anyway at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but met him a few times on this journey. So basically, you've got this. Well, we've got Frank in a coma, 4 different types of cancer, all stage 4 and 5, really bad. We've got brainstem child, 3-year-old stem, inoperable. We've got brain tumours that have taken over half the cavity, brain cavity. We have breast cancers, leukemias, all these different ones. And so what I would do was all-encompassing. I cook food for them. To align the body, I get the best sort of a really, diet, cell regenerative diet. But anyway, so there's all these different types of cancer. This is all in 2019. And so one by one they're presenting, and we're basically going, all right, well, these are the causes, this is how we offset it, and we just start doing, I guess, a trial, and as we start taking it out of people's lives and changing things, everything starts reversing. That's why I've always said that the anxiety is an uninstalling program. It's a chemical illness, and with cancer, we've all consistently been putting this on ourselves, and now we consistently need to reverse it and take it off ourselves, okay? So with any disease, there's not going to be one cause. There is always going to be a multiple number of causes. And sometimes, say we gave the causes a toxicity number, a level, a number, or something linear that a human would do, and say, all right, out of 10, how does electromagnetic field, how does that affect your human body? And so you might give that, say, 7 and say, look, it's bad, but 7 might be, look, it affects you, it has a negative effect on your health, but it does not cause cancer. Now, when you get 27 of those things together that individually don't make enough impact or don't, hurt us or interact and change things in a very deliberate way, then we have 27 things that are teetering, but all together, you put all of those together, those 27 things, say it, even level 5, toxicity, level 5, 27 things, and then say you get those 27 things, and then you take them to a human being, and then that human being has a disposition. Okay, we have a state of homeostasis, which is the body, our system working at optimum, and everything there down from that will tell us our body's disposition, our state of homeostasis. And it's always a lessened state, obviously. Our immune system's shot, our DNA is not what was given to us originally. Like there's we've been here a couple of 100,000 years. There's a lot going on. So the causes. Now, to find a start, you obviously have to look at 8,000, I looked at thousands and thousands of medical journals, human genome project. So you've got to look at what's out there already, and I'm not going to start, obviously, a research into the causes of cancer and just go with whatever has been presented medically, because obviously we're presented with 50 or 60 years of failure. If cancer researchers and governments and bodies and organisations, if they were a business, they would all be sacked, because no one has actually delivered up anything palatable that can be used, that's making an impact on the larger community with cancer. A lot of singular studies. Now, it's common sense that, a single thing like cigarettes, while it's not going to be the driver if you're not very healthy and, you've got a compromised immune to begin with and your lifestyle's not great, and then you basically, it's almost with physics, you can actually map it and get a formula. So you can say, most men in Australia, their immune systems are pretty worn down. Their DNA's not great. They have a beer every day at 5 o'clock. What's a common cancer that most men get in Australia? Oh, that's right, prostate cancer. So there's ways to work all this out. And the way that I first worked out, a lot of my stuff is common sense. And I've gone way over the 10 minutes, but I'm going to go 20 minutes on the first one because it's an introductory. I can do that. So cancer, where I'm going to start with cancer is I'm going to say, all right, what are we dealing with as far as the human body goes? What is the human body? What's it at its natural bestest state and that optimum and all that sort of stuff? And basically then we can look at... we're holistic, so you've got body, mind and spirit, and then we can look at anything that we've eaten, drank, been exposed to, washed in, swam in. We can look at everything that's had an interaction with a human being across those different planes, And anything unnatural for a natural system is going to throw up something really, really interesting. Could you imagine when, genetically modified foods and processed foods and all these things, the body's, it adapts and it gets used to these things. It gets a new place of homeostasis, a new place of health. But at the end of the day, all of these things that that are unnatural, what would they do in a natural system? And you've got to think about, what would the human body do if it didn't know what to do with these processed foods, genetically, very finite. These are very in the DNA makeup of the food that we're taking, in this natural body is like going, all right, look, we can adapt to things. We'll put up with a lot of stuff. We'll, when your body's working at optimum, your brain and your C1 is fired and everything's happening, your body, if you have too much fat, your body just gets rid of it. If it eats toxins, it just gets rid of it. It actually has this cleaning, flushing, regenerative. It's quite, our bodies are designed, are innately developed to heal themselves. Okay, so it's all built within. So all these unnatural things in combinations with a disposition of, not so great. We've talked about, that we're holistic. So we've also got spiritually and mentally. Our thoughts impress. Our words are frequencies in the air. And our thoughts have frequencies as well. So we can affect all sorts of things in this triad of health, yet we only treat the physical when we go to the doctor. So therefore, we're never going to get, say, 100% success rate with cancer like I do. Every person that in that year, 2019, came to me, I never have evangelized. I've never gone out and chased or tried to push my beliefs and things on other people. If the universe is sort of likes to conspire with me, we'll put the right people in front of me. And it did in 2019. All these really, really low diagnosis cancer people within my network. All of those people, say the worst was 3 months diagnosis, Frank, three days. That's nearly 7 years ago. 6 years ago, sorry. And all of those people are still alive today. 6 years later, all of those people are still alive today because of what I found out with my healing modality. Now, these are facts, okay? So I'm not selling you a dream. I'm not selling you anything. I'm giving it to you for free. I'm just going, look, I'm a fellow human who did have a disease, who didn't want to be here anymore because that disease got so bad and as such. So it's all natural, risk-free, complementary. There is nothing whatsoever to lose but your time. So what if you do it for a month or 14 days or whatever and it doesn't work for you? You're going to be a lot healthier anyway because this thing shakes things up. It came from the creator of the universe. I can't emphasize this enough. I don't know, even if your faith is not strong, even if you don't believe in something, in 2018, just before I healed myself, I was the biggest atheist for my whole life. I hadn't done any research into religion, what it means, anything. Basically, it comes from the source, the energy that created you. But it's still 6-7 years later, and no one wants to know. So I'm going to do 10 at 10. The first one's gone for 20 already. We'll put all the information in here, and this will seep into your DNA. You are going to start, the pennies are going to start dropping, and your body's going to start healing and reversing if you've got cancers. This is also gold for anyone with children, because think of it like this. My house, no cancer. No one in my family gets cancer, and if they do, I can get rid of it pretty quickly. Does that make sense to you? I have a household where anxiety and depression just does not operate. It can't live there. I know what causes it. Now, part of the thing with the causes of any disease as well, and some of the ones, especially the hard ones like cancer that we can't get, it also means that some of the stuff, this is fascinating, right? Some of the stuff is actually stuff that we do every day. It's stuff that we're conditioned to do. It's stuff that is part of our lifestyle. And that's why it's hard. And then on top of that, we're addicted to them. A lot of addictions. I mean, food's an addiction. Phones are addiction. All the unnatural interactions chemically that go on every day, now that the world is getting hyper fixated on all sorts of technologies, things, passwords. These are mentally straining and draining. You know, we're holistic creatures here. So there you go. We're talking about facts. We're talking about natural. And I guess at the end of the day, we're talking about what works, right? If it works every time, then what is that? Is that a new truth? Because now it's just a matter of getting the right number of people through to do that. So, all right, so this is the first one. It's gone way too long. All right, the second one, we'll start getting into the causes of cancers, unnatural, natural body. Thanks for joining us. I can't wait for you to get all this information and apply it to your own very life. Have a fantastic day, night, morning, wherever you are. This is the Aaron Russos Podcast, Episode 1, The Cancer Reverser.